Hey guys, good morning to you. Good Sunday morning to you. This is Rusty 78609 in Central Texas, USA. Actually, I'm in Buckhannon Dam, a little community not too far from where I live, or where my home base is. For you new guys, I full-time RV. I've done it for 24 years. I also go camping in a Toyota Prius car. If you're interested in either one of those things, go to my homepage and check out my playlist for RVing and or car camping in a Prius, because I got all kind of stuff there. If you're new or whatever, check it out. Anyway, I am in the little community of Buckhannon Dam, and the temperature is 64 top-down degrees. It is 10:40 a.m. Central Standard Time. As you can see, it's overcast. And I used to live over in this area, and I'm just cruising around this morning. I just left Indian Hills grocery store and got me some bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches. What happens is they're $2.99 regularly, but if you whenever after 10 a.m. whatever they haven't sold, they drop the price down to 99 cents. So I called before I left my house, my RV, and asked if they had any, and she said she had 5. And I said, well, if you'll hold them, I'll be right there. And what I do is I'll eat one for brunch, and then the rest of them I'll put in the freezer. And they do freeze pretty good. It works pretty good. And then just hit them in the microwave, and you got a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, whatever you want one. And actually, you can add lettuce and mayonnaise and stuff, whatever you like, at home, and make it a real sandwich. It comes pretty bare bones. They give you some hot sauce. But anyway, that's an Indian Hills little grocery store in Buckhannon Dam, Texas, between Marble Falls and Burnett, Texas, on Highway 29. For those of you that get up this way, you can check it out. It's just a little nothing of a stop that's been there for years. And you know, it's an amazing thing how some little businesses make it and some businesses don't. That little business, when they opened, I thought, man, that guy must be mad at his money. That was about 20 years ago. He probably made a fortune out of that damn thing. You know, they sell beer and they make short order meals, you know, hamburgers and stuff. And so I think they got beer. They got a few grocery items, not much, but they also sell those things called Hunt Brothers pizzas. And those are good little pizzas. They're $10 with everything, a large. So they do pretty good. On the left, you see that white tent there. Maybe you can see the top of it or part of it. There you go. That's a church. That's a cowboy church. That's what they call it. And I guess it's non-denominational. But I remember when they put that tent up, I thought they loony too, but they got a hell of a crowd. I'm telling you. And it has grown. So don't follow me if I tell you it's a bad deal. You might want to jump into it because it'll probably work. Okay, so let's go look at the lake this morning. And on the way, I'll answer a couple of questions from a viewer subscriber. I told you this individual posted 39 questions. I answered a few of them the other day or yesterday, and it's, you know, they're related to topics I can do. And but anyway, this is you know, this is the last day of the 4-day Thanksgiving weekend for all you workers. And I noticed coming over here on Highway 29, part of the way, that the traffic is much more than normal. I saw 2 cars. All right, this little road here is 1431, and actually this is the end. It ends right up here. But if you turned around and went back the other way, you can go all the way to Austin on this road, which is about 80 miles from here, 85. But we're going to go up here and turn left and go over to Llano County Park and see what's going on at the lake today, and just burn a little daylight. But anyway, one of the questions the lady had for me to try to respond to was how do I heat my RV in the winter? Do I use propane or electric? And, and I'll join that with just basically how do I keep my RV comfortable and throw in the cooling part too for the summers, because I live in Central Texas and we have more summer than we have winter. And right now it's like 63, well actually it's 64 now. And inside the RV now I'm not doing anything. I don't turn the heat on. I'll put on a sweatshirt, some jogging pants, and I don't like to really. Of course, I've got too little. An answer to the question. I'll finally get around to it here in a minute. In answer to the question, I use propane and or electric depending on how cold it is. For a whole year in my RV, I'll use 4 bottles of propane, and I think they're called 30 gallon or 30 pound. They're the mid-sized ones, and but I use 4 of a year. Basically, I'll use pretty much 3 of them from now till the beginning of April, and then I'll use 1 for the rest of the year for just cooking, and that's it. But the thing about an RV that a lot of people don't know when they buy one is that furnace, whenever you turn that furnace on in the wintertime, believe me, it sucks up the propane. It really does. You can't run that furnace too. I mean, if you had to run it on a real cold day, let's just say we had a temperature drop up here that got into the teens and stayed there for a few days, you'd probably be using a bottle of propane a week. And up here right now, to fill my bottle costs about $14. So for me, it costs me, year round, I figure it costs me about $60 a year for propane. But anyway, this is Lake Buchanan for those people that just stumbled in here into my spider web. It's a 22,000 acre lake in Central Texas. It's the largest of the Highland Lakes chain, and it is full now for a change. And believe it or not, those little birds ahead of me are seagulls, and we're about 150 miles from the Gulf of Mexico as a crow flies, maybe more. But they come up here this time of the year, and they always face into the wind when they land. So the wind's from that direction. But on the beach, they're like little buzzards, but up here, they're just, I don't know why they're here in the winter, but they do. They come here and nest, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, that's the lake. They catch some big bass there. They used to have black bass and stuff, but now it's just about all stripers for you fishermen, because the stripers are a bigger fish and they take over a lake pretty quick, and they took over this lake pretty quick. But anyway, so back to the original question about heating an RV. I do use I do use the propane on the really cold days. The way I do it is I don't run it all day long. What I'll do is at night, let's just say it's a really cold night, and up here a really cold night would be like 30 degrees. I have 2 little electric heaters. One is a 400 watt little square thing, and the other one is a tower thing that oscillates, and it's a 400 or 800 watt. It has a high and low setting. But what I'll do at night, on a really cold night, is I'll turn on the little box electric fan, and that will keep the RV right around 45 to 52 degrees. Okay, and while I'm sleeping, that's fine, because I'll get up under my comforter and crap, and I like it. I sleep like a baby when it's cold. And so, and then in the mornings, right before I get up, there's a little remote for the oscillating electric heater, and I'll turn it on low, and then that'll raise the temperature up a few degrees. And then when I get up and fool around, what I'll do is I'll turn both of those off and turn the propane furnace on for about maybe half an hour, because that gets the heat dispersed everywhere in the whole RV. And once that's done, that small electric heater on 400 watt and the other one on low will keep the RV very comfortable, even if the outside temperature is right at 30 degrees Fahrenheit. And it costs me in the winter, my electric bill will run about $40 a month. In the summer, it goes up to about $55. And what I do in the summer is I have the ducted AC. You know, I've got a 26-foot bunkhouse Jayco J-Flight travel trailer, and it has the roof-mounted air conditioner. I think it's 15,500 BTUs. Could be wrong on that. I think that's it. But it cools it. It cools it fine, even in direct sunlight. However, those roof-mounted air conditioners on RVs are very, very energy inefficient. They're not very energy efficient, and they're also a little noisy. So what I've done is I bought me a little, I think it's a General Electric 6,000 BTU window air conditioner, and in my bedroom, master bedroom in the RV, there's a window that pops out that's like a fire exit, but it's also a window you can use to vent the RV, but it's an escape hatch. You know, it's got a little handle and you push it out. If the RV was on fire, you could actually crawl out that window. But what I've done is I've put a little window unit in there, 110 volt, and they're extremely energy efficient, and that little thing will cool that RV very nicely, even when it's 100 degrees in Central Texas. And that's why my utility bill in the summers runs $50 to $60 a month instead of over $100, like most people in RVs up here have to pay. So what else is going on with heat and cooling? Another thing I can tell you about heating and cooling an RV, since I've had 4 of them and had for a long time, is around the door, or if you have a 2-door travel trailer, both doors, that insulation there is not very good. And if you upgrade that to a little thicker band of insulation, you just stick it on there. It's real cheap. You can buy it at any hardware store. I would recommend that you take a look at that, because whenever you shut the door, if you can see sunlight shining in around the perimeter of the door, then you can rest assured that you're losing a lot of heat through that door in the winter and cooling in the summer. So what I've done, even though my RV is only 3 years old, is I've added a little bit of insulation on those doors, or that I only have one, and it seems to help. And also, you can check your windows, but you really don't want to seal those up too much, because one of the things you'll get in RVs is condensation on the windows. And I have some of this stuff. It's a granulated stuff. It's real cheap, and it absorbs the moisture out of the air, and you put it in a little tub thing and just set it in a room or two, and it helps. But condensation, if the cold weather is extended for several days, then you're gonna get a little condensation inside the RV. But up here in Central Texas, since we rarely get cold weather that lasts more than 2 or 3 days, and then after that you can open the windows and vent it out real good and you're fine. But anyway, we're riding around here in Central Texas. I'm back on Highway 1431. I'm headed to Kingsland, Texas from Buchanan Dam, Texas. I'd be going, I guess, almost south right now. And I've got me some green tea. I did have me a few dark chocolate almonds, but now I've got me an egg sandwich. I mean, I'm pigging out today. But I went through the Thanksgiving feast period, and I didn't gain any weight, because that's the way I planned it. the day we had our Thanksgiving feast at the restaurant, the buffet, all you could eat. I did eat quite a bit, but what I did was I didn't eat any breakfast and I didn't have my snack, so that offset that big blow a little bit. And I also drank plenty of water because that helps a whole lot. And what else is going on, folks? I just can't tell you how good it is. I'm speeding along here in my Prius at 50 miles an hour. I did a video yesterday, some of you may have seen it, asking for comments from people about Prius drivers, what they think about them and so forth, and Prius drivers, what they think about other people, you know, people that tailgate and give them a hard time. And I've gotten several comments, and it's about what I figured. The Prius drivers are very conscious of the fuel economy of their vehicle, and so they don't start off quickly from the red lights, and they drive at a constant speed, and when they're coming to a red light or a stop sign, they coast into it because that improves the hell out of your mileage. And I do a little of that, not much, but I average about 54 miles to the gallon. I saw one or two people that averaged over 60 in a Prius, which is very believable, because if you worked at it a little bit and you lived in a city, then you could do that pretty easily. I mean, I live out here in a rural area, and most of my driving is like what I'm doing right now, very little in town or in city driving, and that's what really boosts the mileage, is when it's all electric, because it goes back and forth from electric to gas. Sometimes it's both, sometimes it's electric, sometimes it's gas, and but in town you would be mostly on electric, and that makes a big diff. But anyway, I guess I answered the question about heating particularly, and she's got several other questions, and I'll bite into them a little bit at a time. And thank all you people for your comments. I really appreciate that, because it helps make the channel work. And thank the lady that left the 39 questions, because I'll make probably 10 videos just answering those questions. And they're interesting questions. You know, like a lot of people might want to, know how I actually heat and cool my RV, or somebody that's new to RVing, may not realize that whenever you cut that furnace on, it's using a lot of propane, a lot. I mean, you could use one of those bottles for cooking for an entire year. Okay, that's right. One bottle of 30 gallon or 30 pound would last you a year just for cooking. But if you run that furnace, you might get, depending on what you had your thermostat set on, but you might get a week. It might. But people that live up north could probably tell you more about that, because when you get into weather below 30 or 20 for an extended period of time, I know you're burning a bottle every 3 or 4 days. You got to, because if that furnace is cutting on or just running, jeez, get out your wallet. This little road here goes down to a low water crossing on the Llano River, and I know I've shown it to you probably 20 times, but this is my morning cruise, and I enjoy it. I enjoy getting out in the morning. Sometimes I go in the afternoon again, just for the hell of it, because I like to have my little snack and just check stuff out. And there's no traffic on the roads I go on, very little, and that makes it nice. I don't have to worry about that. For you people that see, most of the comments about the Prius were for people that live in California and some of the larger cities. I can't even relate to that. Okay, I really can't. Now, I lived in San Antonio, Texas for about, let me think here, about 8 years, I guess, total. And at that time, the population might have been 500,000, and now I'm sure it's well over 1 million. But that was back in the late 60s and early 70s. But that's it for me. I mean, as working around, I have lived around large cities doing different things, but I had no desire to live in one at all, ever, none. Of course, I was born and raised, grew up in the country in South Texas, little bitty town, and that's how I am. You know, if I'd have grown up in a large city, Los Angeles, New York, Houston, Dallas, whatever, then I would probably be living there today. Who knows? Because you are what you are. You are where you came from. There's old Bubba in a diesel dually pulling a long trailer, and I'm sure he hates Priuses. That's a car carrier. That's what they go around and steal cars in. They drag that thing around and drive the cars up on that ramp, and when they get a load, they head for Mexico. Is that true? Yeah, it happens. It happens. Now this is the Llano River. I'll get across this and then I'll cut this video off. But this is the low water crossing for the Llano River in Texas. This river runs a little further to my west, or excuse me, east, left, and it combines with the Colorado River to form Lake LBJ in central Texas, and then it heads on down towards Austin, Texas, being the Colorado River at that point, and forms Lake Austin, Lake Travis, and on further down. And then after that, it goes on down and waters the rice fields. Old Bubba's just about to get up on my bumper here. And there he goes. And that, my friends, ends this video. But anyway, again, thank you people for your comments, and those of you that support the channel. I appreciate it. Everything helps. But y'all have a good day. On my trips I'm planning now. I looked at the weather in City of Rocks, New Mexico State Park, and it's supposed to be 19 to 22, 24 degrees lows next week. So we're going to postpone probably until the lows get up into the 40s. Probably be into March, into April. But I'll go. I'm planning on going either in April. Yeah, probably April for who knows. I'd like to be gone for a few weeks and go up into Grand Canyon. But we'll see. I'll do one in that period. Then I'll do another one in July or August. And then another one September, October. I'll go 3 or 4 times a year because I'm set up for it. But anyway, thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye-bye, buy USA made when you can. Take deep breaths, drink plenty of water. Keep your health, and if you have any questions that you think I might want to answer, you just pop a comment and old Rusty will do the best he can. He may not know anything about it, but you won't ever know it. Anyway, bye-bye, adios.